Welcome to Simply Excel. In this video we're going to take a look at splitting text from one column into multiple columns in 3 simple ways. Before we get started, just a reminder to subscribe to my channel for more Excel tips. Now let's get on with the tutorial. The first method we're going to look at is something called flash fill. Flash fill is really easy to use and it's basically Excel predicting what you're trying to do with your data. So let's take a look at it in action. If I start typing in my first name column, so I type Alison, come down to my next cell, start typing Usain, and you'll see that flash fill is predicting what it thinks I want to put in this column for every row. For the first names, this looks reasonable, so I can just press return and it's populated all my data for me. So that was a really quick way of lifting the first names out of my athlete name column. Let's take a quick look at what it does with the surname though. So again, if I type Felix in and then start typing Bolt, it picks out what it thinks I want to populate that column with. You'll see, however, that in the case of anyone with a surname that's more than one word, so anyone that's hyphenated or anyone that's got a 2-word surname, it's only taking the final word. Might be that if you've got a small data set, you can just accept that and just go and manually edit the ones that aren't quite right, but it is just something to watch out for when you're using flash fill. The second method we're going to look at is using the text to columns tool. So all we need to do is select the text that we want to split. I've done that by pressing Ctrl Shift and down arrow on my keyboard. Come to the Data tab and then across to our data tools and click on Text to Columns. This brings up the Convert Text to Columns wizard. On the first screen here, we determine whether the text is delimited or fixed width. If we know that our data is a certain length, we could use fixed width. In this example, we're going to use the space as a delimiter and click on Next. And here we select the delimiter. It defaults to tab, but we can simply change that to space there. And we're going to leave this as default, so we can treat the consecutive delimiters as 1. So if, for example, there's 2 spaces between any of the names, and we're going to allow it to just specify a default text qualifier. And you'll see down here, it's giving us a nice preview of the data. If we say Next, it's asking us to format the column that the data is going to go into. We're fine just to leave that on general because it's just text, and we can select the destination as well, but we're just going to leave it as is, so it's going to start in cell A2. This means it's going to overwrite the text in our athlete column, so if we wanted to retain that, we could simply start in cell B2. Click on Finish, and you'll see that split our surnames and forenames. Now this time it's handled names like Davis Thompson and Richards Ross without a problem, but for Hisham El Garouj, who's got 2 separate words as his surname, it split them into 2 different columns. If we undo that, one thing we can do is put this surname in a qualifier. So if we put it in that double quote qualifier, what happens now when we do text to columns? Again, we're going to delimit with a space. We've got our text qualifier here. That's now split it correctly. Obviously, if you've got a large data set, that's not ideal. But if you've got only a small data set and you know that you can just pick out the few that need delimiters around them just to cope with anything weird, then that's an easy way around it. The final method we're going to go through to split our text is using a combination of the string functions available in Excel. To find our first name, we want to take all the characters to the left of the first space. To do this, we're going to use our left function and the find function, which will return the position of that space. We start by typing equals left and opening our brackets, asking us to specify the text we're looking at, which is going to be our athlete name, and then the number of characters. And we're going to find the number of characters by using the find function to look for a space, and we put that in double quotes within our athlete name. So that's going to return the numeric value of the position of that space. Because the space will be included in that number, we're going to do a -1 on the end to make sure that we only take the letters in the name and not the space on the end. Close our brackets for our left function and press return, and we get the name Alison. And we can just double click in the bottom right hand corner to fill that down all our data. To find our last name is a little bit more complicated. What we're going to do is we're going to look at the right hand end of our text field, and this time we're looking for everything from the right of the first space. So we're going to type our right function, open our brackets, again click on our athlete name, so that's the text we're looking at, and then this time to find our number of characters we're going to use the length function to return the length of the whole string. Again, that's our athlete name, and then we're going to subtract from that the position of that first space. So again, we're going to do find, open our brackets, specify our space in double quotes, and specify the text we're looking in, which is our athlete name again. We'll close the brackets for our find and close the brackets for our right function and press return, and we get Felix. Again, we can double click to fill that down our column, and that's nicely handled the double-barreled names and also the 2-word surname. I've put these formulas down in the description for you so you can copy them into your spreadsheets and amend them however you need. I hope you found these 3 methods for splitting text useful. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel for more Excel tips. Thanks for watching.